Hey, Craig.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, good. Quick question. Is that meeting happening today?
Is what? Yeah. Community the whole I don't know about, but I know that we're streaming the meeting today at 4. I just started setting it up. Yep. Sending it out now. Yep. It is. You're not required to have a camera on. You can mute the camera. Yep. Yep. It just yeah. When it comes up, you have the option. If you hold the cursor at the bottom, you can mute the camera or mute the mic. Keep your mic muted unless you're talking. Yeah. No worries. Okay.
Hi guys, who's on the call right now? It's Gina.
Mark's here.
Hi Mark, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You can hear me okay, right?
Loud and clear.
Perfect, thank you.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi, it's Miss Stafford.
Hi, Miss Stafford.
Is there a board meeting tonight?
Yes, it starts at 4.
Okay.
I gotta go inside.
Hello?
Evan Majors, this is Dennis Lucas. Do you hear me?
Mr. Lucas, I don't think Mr. Major's on yet.
All right, thank you, but you do hear me, correct?
Yes, yes.
All right, I'll mute myself right now.
You are muted. Right there. You sure? Can that stay on?
Hello?
Hello, all.
Hello?
Is that Sal?
Yep, Sal.
All right. Any other board members with us at the moment? All right. I know multiple are joining, so we'll just wait for them.
Joanne, please mute your mic.
Evan, if you're waiting on other board members, Dennis and I are.
Oh, good. I didn't hear you guys. All right. Awesome. We and Mo, it's going to be a little late, with just a few minutes, and Maggie cannot join us due to work responsibilities, and I did not hear back from Shaukat. So another minute or two from Mo, and then we can get started.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with the basics, and here's Mo. Perfect timing. Mortada, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, wonderful. Then I'm going to call the meeting to order at 4:03 p.m. And for roll call, I'll handle that since our secretary is not present at the moment. Mr. Major, present. Mr. Hadwan?
Present.
Mr. Lucas?
Present.
Ms. Schrodak? Ms. Ayash?
Here.
Mr. Obaid,
Present.
Mr. Chowdhury. Thank you all. We have a quorum. I did not receive any audience participation forms. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the board? Last chance.
Mr. Major, Mr. Wilkinson logged an audience participation request
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
from a Mr. Mazami.
Okay. Is Mr. Al-Mazami present on the call? Mr. Al-Mazami, if you made a audience participation request and are present, please unmute yourself and speak. Okay, I will take that as he is not on the call. Was there any language in the request, Ms. McBride or Mr. Wilkinson, that could be read to the board?
There was no subject. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Moving on then. Our one order of business for the special meeting before we move on to our committee of the whole meeting is then agenda item C, our resolution to authorize the filing of the PQ application revisions. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
Motion, was that Mr. Hadwan?
Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Lucas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lucas. Do we have discussion? So, Mrs. Ahmed, can you just briefly explain, is this simply the refiling with updated dates of our previously existing approval?
Ms. Ahmed was having a little bit of technical difficulty. She just joined now, so we may need to repeat that question.
Oh, okay, thank you. Mrs. Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, welcome. Question about the resolution. Is the application simply the refiling of the already approved resolution application with updated dates?
That is correct. Today, basically, we're just going over the preliminary qualification application. And that's to, again, to confirm the date of April 4th.
Please mute your phone.
By using *6, correct?
Yes, please mute or mute your phones with *6 if you're not speaking.
There's a few more present that aren't muted, if you're able to do that. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Ahmed, you were getting a little bit of feedback. Could you repeat that, please?
Yes, so on March 19th, with the board basically approved the resolution to ratify the and confirm the dates for the election moving from May 5th to August 4th. Today is just basically the approval of the resolution for the preliminary qualification application. And then we have 10 business days, so we will need to meet again on May 11th for the next portion.
Got it. So no substantive information has changed in this application.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions from anyone? Okay, then I will read the resolution. Whereas the Board of Education of the school district has considered the need for defraying the cost of constructing a new elementary school building, constructing, erecting, furnishing, and equipping additions to and remodeling furnishing, refurnishing, equipping, and re-equipping existing school buildings, developing and improving sites, and acquiring, installing, and equipping instructional technology, infrastructure, and equipment, all as more completely described in the application for preliminary qualification of bonds, a copy of which is on file with the Secretary of the Board. And whereas the Board received preliminary qualification dated February 7th, 2020 from the Michigan Department of Treasury, School Bond Qualification and Loan Program, for bonds to be issued by the school district in the aggregate principal amount of not to exceed $35,265,000 pursuant to a ballot proposal for the purpose of financing the projects described above and in the preliminary qualification application, subject to approval by the electorate. And whereas the board subsequently approved submission of said ballot proposal to the electorate at the May 5th, 2020 election, and whereas by resolution dated March 19th, 2020, the board determined it necessary to cancel the May 5th, 2020 election and submit the ballot proposal to the electorate at the August 4th, 2020 election. And whereas it is necessary to submit revisions to the preliminary qualification application to Treasury consisting of, without limitation, revised financial information and a revised ballot proposal. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Education of the School District of the City of Hamtramck, Wayne County, Michigan, that the March 19th, 2020 resolution is hereby ratified and confirmed. The board shall submit the preliminary qualification application revisions to Treasury for preliminary qualification of bonds to be issued by the school district for the purpose of financing the projects described above and in the PQ application revisions and the ballot proposition described therein. The PQ application revision shall be submitted to Treasury for action prior to the official action of the board calling the August election on the bond proposal. The board will present an application for final qualification of the bonds to the Treasury after the bond proposal has been approved by the electors of the school district. The board has read the PQ application revisions to be submitted, approves of the statements and representations contained therein, and declares that, to the knowledge and belief of the board, the statements and representations are true. The administration and bond counsel for the school district are hereby authorized to submit the PQ revisions to Treasury for review and approval. And all revisions, resolutions, and parts of resolutions, insofar as they may be in conflict herewith, are hereby rescinded. I will now begin a roll call vote. Mr. Hadwan, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Obaid?
Aye.
Ms. Ayash?
Aye.
And Major, aye. The motion carries. Thank you all so much. We are gearing up for August election. Okay. Then, without further ado, just no one who needs to be here, don't leave, because we have the policies to review in our committee meeting after adjourning this one. So I'll adjourn and then I'll start immediately the new meeting. Do we have then a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
Lucas.
I got Sal and seconded by Lucas. Resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 4:12 p.m. How do you vote, Mr. Hadwan?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas? Mr. Lucas, how do you vote? Mr. Obaid?
Aye.
Ms. Ayash?
Aye.
Major, aye. Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. All right. Moving on right away to our Committee of the Whole meeting. I will call to order at 4:13 p.m. And I'm present. Mr. Hadwan, are you present?
Present.
Shrodek? Lucas?
Present.
Obaid?
Present.
Chowdhury? And Ayash.
Here.
Wonderful. We continue to have a quorum. And the only thing on the agenda is the bylaws and policies that are in the shared drive and are optional policies, but have been tabled a couple times. So we want to move forward the most important ones, and we can have the option of tabling anything that isn't essential at this time. So I'd like to turn it over. First of all, is anybody having problems accessing the document?
I'm having a problem.
Wait, Evan.
Okay.
Shouldn't you do audience participation before we continue, just in case?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, it wasn't on the agenda. I forgot. On that note, just in case, is there anyone who wishes to participate? Going once, going twice. All right. Thank you for the reminder, though. So Sal, did I hear you and who else said they were having a problem seeing the document?
Me
Just Sal?
too. Me too.
Sal and Mo. Mrs. Ahmed, are you able to email a PDF to their emails just in case they're having a hard time with the drive? And
Yes, I can do that right now.
Thank you. And can you use Sal's Gmail address?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I just don't want to lose everybody going between too many screens here. Okay. Just let us know when you're ready to roll.
Will do. Okay, I sent the document. Please let me know when you've received it.
I received it.
All right.
I received it too.
All right, wonderful. So then Ms. Ahmed has organized it nicely. So we can see the options, and then she has her recommendations to us so we can discuss in depth if we have disagreement or have further questions. But that way we can ideally move a little more efficiently if no one objects to her initial recommendations. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away.
Okay, so good evening once more. So we have with us Mrs. Lynham, Chief Financial Officer, and we also have Mrs. Zimbermoni, who is also our HR Director. So they will chime in whenever necessary. So we're going to begin with the order that you have. We'll begin with crowd funding, policy 6605. Okay, and the recommendation is option 2 of the superintendent. That's basically the recommendation for this. Let me know if you would like to discuss this or move forward.
Looks good to me.
Okay.
Looks good.
All right, we have some that are new, and because they are new, I would like us to table these policies for us to grow our understanding. I know that, for example, one of them, we have the CTE director is interested in purchasing some equipment for that, but we need to review it a little bit more. So
Which policy are you referring to?
The policy I'm talking about right now is the new emergency operations plan,
Okay.
8402. So I'd like to table that so we could get a better understanding of what this entails.
Sure.
Okay.
How long do you need before bringing it back?
Hopefully by May's cow meeting.
Okay. That's
Okay,
fine.
next. Okay, wonderful. So
I mean,
next
it's not going to be implemented all the way until the next school year. So if you need another month, that's fine to do. You don't need to jam it into the end of the year here.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll keep you updated on that. So again, continuing, we have the next policy, number 8640. And that's regarding transportation for field and other district-sponsored trips. Okay, and the recommendation is the district shall assume transportation costs for all field trips. The district A will assume the transportation costs. And then on the second page, transportation may be limited by the availability of vehicles, drivers, and scheduling, and will not be available when needed for general school purposes. And then the next three. So did everyone get that?
Got it.
Okay.
Do you mean by the district, like we're paying for it, like we're putting transportation back into our budget, or are we still privatizing?
Well, remember, this is just for field trips. So the transportation.
Right, so I'm asking, yeah.
There's a
is it
cost whether it's paid to a third-party vendor or our own in-house transportation. And this is just saying that rather than having the student organization be responsible for raising money or
oh, okay, never mind. I see what you guys are saying. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I thought it was something else. Sounds good.
So that's the recommendation. If you feel that a certain number of approved field trips as specific in the superintendent's administrative guidelines, if you feel that's better, I'm open for discussion.
No, I don't think we've ever taken more field trips than we can afford, so I'm okay with not putting a cap on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this
All right.
works.
Okay, next is the community and adult education, 2450. So with this, again, we want to look at all and every opportunity for community and adult education. So, I mean, it's basically on the first page, we're looking at providing all of these recommendations. So in the evening and day, vocational, recreational, cultural, as well as the vocational technical training, basic, high school, and in the schools of this district. So we're looking at all of these.
Great. That's what I was hoping.
And then the second page, again, the board shall also maintain an Americanization program of instruction for the benefit of foreign-born residents of the district. That's also a recommendation.
What does that mean?
So just helping new immigrants understand, citizenship, take citizenship classes, just anything to help them understand a little bit better of about their new country and the new experiences that they will experience.
Is anyone else more comfortable with a program of, for example, cultural literacy or cultural education rather than, I'm not quite sure what I think Americanization means a lot of different things to different people. I don't know. I don't feel strongly though. Does anyone else have feelings on the topic?
No, I'm fine with it if we move forward with it.
Sounds like no objections. Okay.
Okay, and then next, yes.
This is Lucas. I
Yes,
took
Mr.
this to mean that the Americanization program is to help the foreign-born residents to become more aware of what or how things are done in America so they feel more comfortable. I think that's the direction of what I read here.
Sounds good. I think you guys are all on the same page, so I'll go along with the group.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Next, thank you. Next, we have staff ethics, and that's 3210. So if you look at the next page, page 2 of 2, we have F through M are the recommendations.
Got it. Makes sense.
Okay. Next, if you're ready to move on.
I am. Any questions? All right.
All right. So next is late arrival and early dismissal, and that's 5230. So late arrival and early dismissal, we have the first bracket checked as a recommendation. So as agent responsible for the education of the children of this district, the board shall require that the school be notified in advance of such absences by written, personal, and where the line is, that should be by justifiable reasons shall be determined by the principal.
Okay. So to be clear, that's requesting that or requiring that people submit in writing in person.
Or a personal contact. A phone call is a personal contact.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then the debatable one was at the bottom of that page. Presentation of photo identification is required of anyone authorized such custody. So this one, it was not recommended just because of the issues that we come across with photo identification.
Meaning that some people don't have it, right?
Some people do not have it,
Right.
and we don't want to make things harder than they really are for our parents and our students.
Yeah, thank you.
Agreed.
Could you, on that note, and I'm glad it was brought up in a previous meeting by Ms. Ayash, and for a future committee of the whole meeting, perhaps, when time permits, ask of the appropriate person or people on your team to review if there are other areas of our district practices where it would be wise to revise to better be accessible to potentially undocumented parents.
Yes, I will do that. Thank you.
Just because it's come up twice in 2 different areas in a very short amount of time, I'm sure there's others that could be teased out.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. I made note of that.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So next is disposition of real property, and that's 7,300. So for that, we have A, B, C, may, and then D, F, G. That's on the first page.
One more time.
Okay, so again, we have A, B, C, and then may instead of shall, and then letter D, F, and A and G. That's on this first page.
Why would you prefer to have the appraisal be optional?
Which one are you looking at?
So all property letter C, considered for sale, may be subject to a current appraisal.
What would you suggest otherwise?
I believe it has been, well, I guess we haven't sold anything while I have been, to my memory, on the board, but we're required to get a current appraisal when purchasing property, or at least that has been our practice in my time. So I don't have a comprehensive analysis of this. I'm curious, is there a benefit to it being optional, or is it a good idea to make it required to have a current appraisal?
I see. Mrs. Lynham, do you have any input you'd like to share on that?
The only benefit would be so that we could move quickly if there was a need to quickly sell property, which I don't foresee. But it would give us the option to maybe make a deal on property that we wanted to sell without having to call a special board meeting or wait until the next board meeting.
In the terms of this, what's the minimum threshold for what type of sale this is referring to?
Any type of real property, so it would be land or building.
Okay, I don't think that's something that should move forward without the requirement of a special board meeting, personally.
This is Lucas. I agree with Mr. Majors. When we, as a board member, will be giving up some of our responsibility as far as the resources of the community, and I think we should be responsible for selling the property or not selling it after the recommendation of professional. And I think our lawyer will agree with us.
This is
Do you
Mo.
want to table this?
This is Mo. I also agree with my board members. I don't think so.
Yeah, I was gonna hop on and say table it until we find another way to word it or another option, but as it stands, I don't think the board would pass it.
Well, it would need to be tabled if we all agreed that we pick shall instead of may, because by requiring the outside professional appraisal, then it would need to be brought to the board before approving the purchase. Is that correct, Ms. Lynham?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. So it sounds like everybody was in favor of the board approving any such sale. And so are we all in favor of selecting shall for part C to indicate that?
Yes.
Yes, for me.
Okay, great.
Lucas, yes.
Great. All right.
All right, that has been noted. And then moving on to page 2, I have also letter H and I.
Great.
All right. So this is the next one, 7440 .03. This is the one that I was referring to, is new. So it's basically titled New Small Unmanned Aircraft Systems. And it's basically regarding the drones. So we need more understanding about what this entails and how we are looking at implement this in the education at the high school level before we can move forward with this. So I would like to table this one.
That's fine.
I would too, but do you plan on still moving forward with banning them, do you think? Or do you still want to consider having them as part of our, like, just allowing people to use them?
Well, that's the thing. We have, there's an interest to use them in our district for educational
Right,
purposes.
okay.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
All right, then, yeah.
We want to make sure it doesn't conflict with this policy.
So I'm fine with tabling.
Okay. And then next we have the reissue of school safety information, 8400. And then basically where it says the brackets, no end of option. The first recommendation is the superintendent shall take the necessary steps, and then continuing from there. And then the safety committee shall convene a meeting for the purpose of conferring regarding the school safety information. And then where it says agency in parentheses and agencies, just moving with the agency. And then the second page, I know Jahan is going to have some issues with some of the things here, but the recommendation is A, C, D, E, F, G, and with the students in G, we're looking at high school level. H, I, J, K, L, and this is when applicable, obviously. And then for L, we're looking at Wayne County. And then other, we're looking at the police chief, law enforcement officers, and school nurse.
You're right. I'm gonna have a problem with it. Can you explain why this is something that I keep bringing up, because it's something that's specific to communities of color, for districts, this heavy police presence, like policing our students with literal police forces, but like all of their actions. I need to understand why we're constantly working with our law enforcement to do everything. I understand that we can like partner with them for things, but I've always had issues with police presence at events because it's a thing. So if you can explain, like, can we go forward with other just being the school nurse? How does the rest of the board feel? I feel very strongly against this. I wouldn't move forward with this if we're constantly using police as one of our like first choices.
First choice is, can you be more specific about your question? Because I'm only seeing this suggest the convening a meeting to confer school safety information to the district with all of those people present. So how?
It's basically extending an invitation to any of these members to participate. And again, we're looking at the serious offenses, the high and severe infractions related to weapons in schools, drugs, and things of that magnitude.
I mean, there's also just common sense legal law enforcement issues that are actually a part of our day-to-day life in the school, such as traffic management, also that we don't have the authority or ability to speak on or enforce, but the local law enforcement does, and something that impacts us greatly. So just as a matter of information sharing, is there a specific concern, Ms. Ayash?
I don't know if I can like give something particular right now, but an example I can think of, like, are you just talking in terms of this policy, or are we just talking in general?
This policy only. Yeah.
For this policy, we are just including them on providing information, or how are we doing this? Because I don't think I read it the way you guys read it.
Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, the 70, where's it? Volume 34, number 1, reissued school safety information, right?
Right.
Page 1 of 5. Okay. And give me a second. Let me reread it.
I personally don't have a problem with that recommendation. This is Sal.
Thank you.
And again, just to clarify, these individuals may be invited to participate in the meeting.
Right, and I could see how it would make sense that where I could see a place for each of them, given it is us setting the terms of what it is they are presenting on.
Correct.
Is there time to table it so we can reword it, or if the board is okay with moving forward, feel free.
What is it that needs to be reworded?
I just want to double check before I agree to this, because I don't think I read through to the bottom. Give me a second.
I don't think we need to table it, honestly.
Yeah. Then on page 1, who is the blank?
School Safety Committee, she said.
That's
right.
correct.
So it would be A, who was it again? A, B, it was A, B, C.
D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. And for M, we have the police chief, school nurse as well.
Mm-hmm. It would just be the police chief?
Yes, we have the police chief as
letter M. And we don't actually have a school resource officer, so K is
right. I was gonna ask who that was too, but
so we should probably uncheck that just because it doesn't apply to anybody. But okay, you all right, Miss Ayash?
I'm all right.
Okay. Again, this is just a simple meeting and including relevant personnel. Though I have a question about a indication at the beginning of the policy. So the first box check, the superintendent shall take the necessary steps, etc. I actually have a problem with that because I have a feeling, because what it's referring to is the district working with local officials, arranging signage, defining a 1,000-foot boundary for in relation to weapons, drugs, and registered sex offenders. Now, I don't think this kind of language was written with our kind of community in mind. This feels like a very suburban or rural definition, because within 1,000 feet of our school properties is almost the whole community. And it is, I think, unwise, unrealistic, and inefficient to suggest that the superintendent is going to pursue any adult within 1,000 feet of any building who, is a registered sex offender and resides, works, or lives in a house somewhere.
Would you rather have it say 100 feet or something?
Couple hundred. I mean, honestly, with us, it's crazy because it's literally across the street is a full neighborhood.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you that the 1,000 feet comes from the federal law
Right.
that established the student safety zone. So that's where that's coming from.
Right. So we can't change that. But I just think we shouldn't make a matter of policy. Obviously, if something came across your desk that you found to be prudent, you would pursue that. But I don't think we should, as a matter of policy, say that you need to pursue all of these that there may be, because I think you're going to find that to be a burdensome situation.
Right. And my understanding is that should any one of these issues come to my table, then I am responsible to adhere to this. It's not that I'm going to make it my job to go look out for, these issues.
Yeah. And to be perfect. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No,
Mr. Majors, may I speak?
Yes, please. Go ahead, Mr. Lucas.
In my understanding, the 1,000 feet is from the federal government. That's fine. But there'll be a judge who will specify how many feet away that person is to be from school property anyway. It may not go to 1,000 feet, especially knowing the community, I would say. So I would say discussion of this would be pretty immaterial. We would have no control as to how many feet somebody's going to stay away from our property. We can make requests, but the final outcome is from judicial. Over.
Yeah, that would be nice. Unfortunately, the way, because this one thing is specifically naming sex offenders and no one else. And the way that works is when they're, they've served their time, they're out of prison, they're on parole, or they're even off parole, but they still have to be registered. The way it works is that, it is very hard to find housing because many housing facilities have provisions against allowing anyone on the registry to live there, and similar to this 1,000-foot rule. And so they end up with family very often. And in the event that only place that person could live is with a family member in a house in Hamtramck or the street, it just feels like not our place to pursue their prosecution for not having other options. Does that make sense?
I think that the follow off of that, I think you're saying it right. Like, I don't think we would pursue, I don't think the super has the capacity, to look at a map and go 1,000 feet from each building. I feel like you could circle all 2.2 miles just between all of our buildings, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it would, would she go out of her way? I don't think so. So,
yeah.
Do it.
So
while I'm here, though, I still am hung up on including other. Would the board be opposed to not having the chief of police on there?
As someone giving information in our, can we do one thing at a time? So let's finish this and then revisit that. So is the board okay either not selecting this clause or changing it from this to the superintendent may take the necessary steps, so it's not required to pursue anyone that they know of?
Because she can't change the 1,000 feet,
I'll go
right?
along with that.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Lucas. What was your question, Ms. Ayash?
She can't change, we can't change the mandated 1,000 feet, right? But we can change the word may, right? Yeah, then I'm okay with that.
Correct. Okay. Sal and Mo?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
I agree with the two.
Okay, thanks, guys. So superintendent may take the necessary steps. And then revisiting, Ms. Ayash, why don't you think the police chief should be invited to an information sharing meeting with our district?
Well, not that they shouldn't be invited to the meeting. It's just making them the actual school safety information team. I think with everything else checked off minus K, that's more than enough people and more than enough background to even have.
What do you mean making
So
them the school information chief?
Well, the thing is, I'm reading through this, I'm understanding because all of these people are going to be on our school information, school safety team, right?
This is saying they are invited to participate in the meeting, not that they are the school safety committee. No.
Right, because again, because these are all serious violations, we do need to have input from various, city officials, and the chief would be, if we have a sex offender case, I would like to have the chief sit in on.
Well, couldn't you invite them without making it part of your policy? Just on case by case, or what?
I don't
understand.
I don't understand what's the problem.
Yeah.
Right now.
I have a problem with policy constantly inviting your law enforcement into your buildings if it's not necessary. Like, if you can invite them when it's necessary, like you guys said with sex offenders or weapons or something like that, great. But I'm confused with the way I'm reading this document. It's that A through M are people that are actually going to be on the school safety team. Unless that's a whole different team.
No, it says specifically the following may also be invited to participate in the meeting. And the school safety committee shall convene the meeting. Not that these people are the school safety committee. So no, they are not the
school
committee.
Safety committee is who then? Is that like someone that's in the central office or no?
It will be put together by the district.
The school safety committee is a combination of school building administrators and central office administrators as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense? The distinction between the two, the committee.
Yeah, that
and the
distinction
meeting?
matters to me. Yep. Okay. Then that's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. Did we get down to the district contact person component, Mrs. Ahmed?
The district
I think
contact.
we stopped at page 2.
Still, we're going to be on page 2 of 5, and the district contact person. The first blank is the superintendent, and then the second blank is HR director.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, and then the following page, law enforcement information network, LEAN. So we have the board authorizes the superintendent, principal, assistant principal to request vehicle registration information for suspicious vehicles within 1,000 feet of school property through the law enforcement information network.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then we have the threat assessment. And that's checked off. The threat assessment is checked off. And then we have on the following page, persistently dangerous schools. We have the first.
So wait, Mrs. Ahmed, I think you skipped over a part. Or did you not select anything for the team will meet blank on a regular basis and blank level of frequency?
We left this open just because we'd rather do things case by case, because we have some students that are English learners and may have a different approach. We have our special needs students that require a different approach. So we'd like to do this on a case by case basis versus putting in times and that may restrict us.
Okay. And ideally, this is not something that needs to happen with such regularity either.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So then the following page, persistently dangerous schools. The first part of that, the first parentheses, discuss this at the annual meeting.
That's fine. Luckily, it doesn't apply to us at the moment.
Right. And then the following page, I was unsure which one, just knowing some of the board members' feelings about that. So if you don't mind discussing this.
Which one are you referring to?
Page 5 of 5.
Okay. In addition, the superintendent shall discuss the school. So the first one seems to be the same as the previous one that was selected. Am I reading that correctly?
Somewhat. The issue I'm having is with the second one. I'm not sure if you have a preference as which one would be best.
Wait, so for the pursuant to the board state intent, discuss, you checked off the first one, discuss as if at the annual meeting. And then for the second option, in addition, the superintendent shall, you're also going with discuss?
Right. I wasn't sure. Yeah.
So
I wasn't
what
sure.
to select under the superintendent shall is the
Yes.
question.
I just want your input.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like, as I said, we don't qualify, so why can't we just discuss the school designation? Because we're not categorized as a persistent dangerous school, right?
Right. So, but it's, to have in place if God forbid that were the case. But I think I'm comfortable with the first indication.
I am too, with discussing the school designation.
Because a corrective action plan, because if you had to create a corrective action plan, you would involve whoever you need to involve in that. Is my feeling. Is that your understanding, Mrs. Ahmed?
That's correct.
Okay. So I think that encompasses enough.
Yeah, okay. It'll encompass enough with breaking your policy, so I'm okay with it.
You guys okay? Salmo, Mr. Lucas?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Lucas, yes.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Did you check off the if a school is in a neighboring district thing or no?
Mrs. Ahmed, what do you?
Which one? What did you say?
If a school is in a neighboring district is identified, and there is not another school in that district, the district will admit students from that school.
No, we did not check that. No.
Okay.
No, just we're gonna move that. That was not recommended. So I think we're good on this policy. We could just move to the next policy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is a new policy. This is regarding the tobacco policies, use of tobacco by administrators. So I would like to table this to get more clarification on this.
Are you going to ask to table all of them?
I'm trying to see the other one.
Because it's administrators, staff, students. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Are you tabling it because you don't want the 24 hours, 7 days on school grounds? Because it looks like they're not prohibiting the use. You just can't use it on school property.
Right. The new part from this is the 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's you know, that seems a lot. So I just want more time to gain more understanding on that.
I think is that not our current policy?
I thought you weren't allowed to smoke on campus.
Right.
You are not allowed to smoke on campus, but I think the difference is, let me see what's new. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
At all times. So unless you feel this is where you want to be, I mean, we could
is Keyworth a part of?
Yes.
Is Keyworth a part of the property?
Yes.
Yes.
Are people allowed to smoke when they're waiting in line for like games and events, or no?
I don't
believe so.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
It's prohibited. We've again, I don't recall if this is just if it's board policy or just protocol, but we had in the past it actually was initiated by a group of students and staff from, I think, KMS, the forget what they called themselves, the some sort of health and wellness group that organized to create the district's first tobacco-free policy. That's where all of our rules came from to prohibit it on all of our grounds. So, yeah, I think I'm in favor of maintaining that unless I'm okay tabling it if you have some further questions to identify, but my general feeling is that to continue with the prohibition that we currently have.
Okay.
Well, I'm okay with tabling it if the super wants to table it. I don't know what information, like, are you going to provide us additional information on why you want to table it, or like, what are you looking at? Is it something about 24/7
That's what she said, yes.
Yeah, just the 24/7, you know, because how will we enforce this? I mean, if it's the weekend and we have certain issues, you know, how will it be reported? How will we enforce it?
Mm-hmm.
It just seems a little bit cumbersome because
of
the fact that it is at all times.
So this will come back to us at the next review period.
Yeah,
correct?
then that's all the policies.
Okay, so this everybody's okay tabling this set of policies till the next review?
Yes, for me.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, so that's all of them then, the staff and students also, right, Mrs. Ahmed?
The students, we're fine with the way it is. The only additions on that were the more specific information regarding the smoking of electronic vapor. So that's on that, which is good. They still have the same thing wording regarding 24 hours, 7 days a week. So
why don't you just keep these all together? Yeah, okay. Why don't you just keep these all together and bring them back at the same time?
Okay, we could do that. Okay, that's it for now. These are all our policies. So I have noted the ones that we need further clarification on, and the ones that we want to table for more information.
Wonderful. Any final comments or questions from board members?
Yeah, I'm going to send you guys a few articles. If you guys please make sure to check your emails and read through it. Maybe understand why I'm being so adamant about the Tahoe law enforcement thing. But other than that, I'm okay.
Yeah, that's great. And perhaps we can have a discussion on that in the future. I just want us to be mindful of what are, specific language in specific resolutions and what it means versus larger structural issues that are absolutely worth discussing, but maybe not directly applicable. But let's chat offline and figure out when's a good time to how to share out and discuss that information. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
Okay.
All right.
This is Lucas. I'd like to speak about something else.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Lucas.
At the last time we met, I mentioned something in regards to the recreation department, and I was just asking, well, the same thing. If Mr. Daniels could get something together on paper of what we might be able to do in the summertime if Lansing allows us to have a recreation program. I'd like to make sure that the water park is operating correctly, so we might have to use that if Lansing allows us. And what other properties will we be able to use? Because we have the administration building, we have veterans, we have Pulaski, we have the community center. Will the community center be available during the summer for any type of recreational use? These are just things I'd like Mr. Daniels to think through and maybe come to us, and we'll see what we can do for the citizens during the summertime. Oh, and we have the pool.
Yeah.
I don't want to forget the pool if possible.
Yeah.
So those are just my thoughts, and hope that Mr. Daniels is able to come forth with something that is serviceable.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that
So
up.
then-
Ms. Zagman, when do you
So
think
then-
is enough time to have that together?
Yeah, Mr. Daniels can create a plan for operation for the summer and share it with everyone, hopefully during May's COW meeting. And again, we're not sure if we'll be in session or not, but it's important for us to plan and think ahead. So we'll definitely provide a plan should we be open.
Yeah, just a point of information if people didn't know already. Mr. Lucas, I'm not sure if you saw that Detroit canceled all summer recreation activities and will be maintaining closures of all community centers all summer.
No, I did not see that or hear that.
Yeah.
Also, if Mr. Daniels will also let us know what the cost factor might be if we do open up to something. All these are a lot of ifs. Like I said, Lansing will dictate what we're going to do anyway. Detroit probably did this on their own, foreseeing the possibility of problems. But, under certain conditions, maybe something is available. I don't know. It's all a question mark. That's why I like to be prepared. If we don't use that program, fine. But at least we're ready for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for bringing it up.
Okay, sounds good.
Anybody else?
You want to discuss the calendar?
Well, we've got May 11th.
Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Hello? Who is this?
This Craig Daniels. I've been listening. I've been trying to speak.
Oh, welcome, Mr. Daniels.
How y'all doing?
We're good. Hey, I don't want you to be on the spot right now without thinking through it, the whole idea, but I'm glad you heard that. And can you just work with Mrs. Ahmed and over the next month to try and create some options?
Yes, I will, Mr. Major. I do have a template that I will share with Mrs. Ahmed tomorrow that Ms. Jackson and I already been working on.
Great.
As far as the summer program, the community center, splash pad, pool. I can get that to Mrs. Ahmed by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We've been working on that the last week. I mean, all this is based off the governor's stay-at-home order and all those good things. But I definitely have the template started. 95% of it already done. I'm just going to tap some loose ends on it, give it to her, Mrs. Ahmed, by tomorrow morning. And then the board can take a look at it. But we already started that process of thinking. And I'll make it real quick. We've been following with MParks, Michigan Recreation Parks Association, our state level, plus NRPA, in gathering this information that we put together, as well as having director meetings with different directors, parks and recreation directors throughout the state, so I can compile all that information and then
Nice.
see how it fits us for us in Hamtramck. So we've been working on that, but I definitely have it almost finished, and I can definitely have it to about 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
That's good to hear. Thanks a lot.
Okay, so I'm sorry, this company, I kept screaming, I'm here, but I guess I was on mute. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go back on mute.
You made it. All right. Perfect time.
Okay, all right, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. One less email for me.
Okay.
For me.
Yep, I will make sure I get it to you tomorrow morning.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, so we said we had May 11th, and we're not sure if we're having the May Cal meeting.
So we would like to schedule one. The only issue is with Eid on around the 23rd. It might be best to, if you would like to have a Monday meeting instead on the 18th.
Yeah, I think we should reschedule just in case.
Because I know at
For
the end of
Monday, the
Ramadan,
18th at 4.
so that's going to be our Cal meeting.
So we would have a meeting, a regular board meeting on the 11th, and then, or no, it's a special, correct? On the 11th?
Yes, and instead of having a separate board meeting, we're combining both the special board meeting and the regular board meeting on May 11th.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. That makes sense.
You're welcome.
And then,
And then-
a Cal meeting on the 18th, 1 week later.
Correct.
Anybody
I'm
have any
okay with it if you
conflicts?
guys are.
This is Lucas. What time for the Cal meeting?
4 o'clock, if you can still do that.
Fine with me.
Okay.
And then we cancel the Cal meeting on the 28th of May.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so are we looking at both the 11th and the 18th at 4 o'clock?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Well.
Anything else from the board or Mrs. Ahmed?
I just wanted to give a big shout out to all of the administrators, all of the teachers, paraprofessionals, parent engagement team, secretaries, buildings and grounds team, tech team. We just have so many amazing people that made the deployment such a success. I'm very proud of their work. I'm very proud of the success of the deployment. So kudos to everyone.
That's great. It looks like it was in demand from the numbers that you sent out.
Yes. We have a lot of our students, wanting technology. Now we're looking at some of our families seeking another device for their larger families. So we're looking at that, and we're doing everything case by case. So far so good. The parent engagement team are connecting with our parents. Our principals are making special, appointment dates and times to distribute whatever is still remaining. So it's just been excellent. I'm very grateful for the teamwork.
Yes, as are we. Thank you to everyone who made that happen. All right. With that said, then, our final resolution for meeting adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Motion Hadwan.
Mr. Hadwan, seconded by Mr. Obaid. Resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 5:12 p.m. How do you vote, Mr. Hadwan?
Aye.
Mr. Lucas?
Aye.
Mr. Obaid?
Aye.
Ms. Ayash?
Aye.
Major, aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all so much for your time, and I'll see you on the 11th.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you.